Good morning. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to make super yummy good sugar cookies. My favorite Christmas sugar cookie recipe. The recipe has been in my family for 50 plus years. Got it from a neighbor from the little town in California that I grew up in, and it's the only sugar cookie recipe I make. So today I'm going to be mixing up the dough, and then I'm going to refrigerate it overnight, and I'll actually be baking the cookies tomorrow. So stay tuned. So first I'm going to start by taking my butter. I've had it out for about 2 hours, and I am just going to help it get softened by putting it on the wood stove for just a couple of minutes. So I'm going to run this over to the wood stove, and I'm just going to smash those down a bit. Okay. So it's a 1 cup, so I had 2 things of butter, and I'll be creaming this when it's softened with 2 cups of white sugar. So then I'm going to take my bowl and I'm going to measure out 2 cups of sugar. There's 1. And 2. Okay, so that's ready for the butter. Add the softened butter to the sugar. We are going to cream the butter and the sugar. Okay, looks creamed. Do a little bit more. Okay, so there's our creamed butter. So now we're going to add 2 eggs to this, along with a teaspoon of salt and a teaspoon of vanilla. But I'm going to add the eggs first and mix them in real good. And here's my locally sourced brown egg. So I'll just whip those up a little bit. So 2 eggs. A bit of that. Pour that into our creamed sugar. And I'm going to mix that up really good. I love the fresh eggs. The yolks are so yellow. Okay, so I whipped in that egg. Got it all incorporated into the creamed butter and sugar. And now I am going to add the salt. And it is a teaspoon of salt. I actually usually don't even measure this, but for the course of this video, I will. And I'm going to go a little shy. I don't like a lot of salt stuff, so almost a full teaspoon. I just put it in because it's in the recipe, but I'm a real good one for ad-libbing on recipes. I don't really measure, hardly, especially with this. I've been making these cookies practically, well, all my adult life and most of my childhood. So I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Like my measuring spoons, they're antique. They're from my grandma, I think, or great-grandma. Okay, sorry. So, got the vanilla in, and incorporate that. Now, I'm going to set that to the side. I'm going to take and add 1 teaspoon of baking soda to the 1 cup of sour cream that I already measured out. So get this in here. And I'm going to stir that up. So, get a little spoon here. Of course it's red. My silverware is red. Are you surprised? My plates. Well, I got different color plates, but I have a lot of red stuff. And just going to mix that up and make sure the baking soda is in the sour cream. And then we're going to dump that into the beginning of our cookie dough. Try to get all of that sour cream. But I'm just mixing the sour cream into the rest of the batter, which will become our dough. And just mix it up real good. Get everything blended. Alright, so that is now incorporated really good. I might have this camera up a little too high. I'm going to move you down here. To try to get 5 to 6 cups of flour into the batter. Move the flour down there. There we go. So I'm going to start with 3 cups in the bowl. And it's pre-sifted, so I don't have to sift it. Here again, after all the years of making these cookies, I basically start with, I kind of know, like 3 cups in the bowl. So there's cup 1. Cup 2. And 1 more. Okay, so there's the 3. Start with that. I'm just going to move that out of the way. So there's 3 cups of flour, and I'm just going to pour some of this in right now to start. Actually, I can pour all this. Sorry, I'm blocking the camera, but I haven't done many cooking videos, as you can tell. I'm going to get all this stuff, this food. Okay. Now, set that out of the way for a minute. So I'm going to start mixing. Okay. There. Alright, and it's just easier, it's a cookie dough. I mean, I could get the mixer out, but it's a good arm workout, so I'm just going to do it by hand. Old-fashioned way. And I bake them all one day, and then I usually frost them the next. Although, the day I bake them, I have to frost a few for my husband. He loves these cookies. So, okay, so there is the first 3 cups of flour. Put in there. Now, we're going to go cup number 4. So then I just start adding them in 1 cup at a time. Most years I get about 5 cups, 5.5 cups. I rarely get the 6, but sometimes I do. So I don't know if it just depends on the flour or the weather conditions. So there's cup 4. So cup number 5, come on there. Getting warm. I'm going to work this one in. Main thing, you want to lift and make sure all the flour underneath is getting incorporated back into it. So, okay. I'm going to add a playlist on my channel of cooking and baking. It won't take the full 6, but I'm going to add half. I leave the dough, like, I would say about a 1/4 inch thick when I cut them out. I'll put it in there. Oh, there it goes. Okay. Good old Pampered Chef. So I'm going to put this in the refrigerator. Alrighty, well I'm going to clean up here, and I will post the ingredients in writing. I'll put the list of ingredients in the video. But that's sour cream Christmas cookies. This is basically what I call them. I call them Grace's Christmas cookie, but you don't know who Grace is. And she's gone now, so, but I have underneath that sour cream Christmas cookies, so. Okay, and tomorrow I will do part 2, and pretty sure I'm just going to post this part today. We all know how to bake cookies, but if you don't want to hang around for that, I bake them at 325 for 10 minutes. I set a timer. Thanks for joining me on my first cooking video. I'm going to do this one. It's actually one. And if you didn't load up with candy corn at Halloween, you're out of luck on this recipe for Christmas, but I always save a bag for that. I made a batch for Halloween, Thanksgiving, and now I'll make a batch for Christmas. And this is all my baking I'm doing. I'm going to make haystacks with the Frosted Flakes. I'm going to do fudge and my great-grandmother's fudge recipe and my grandma's brown sugar fudge, what do they call that? Panucci recipe. And then some dipped pretzels, and I'm going to do some pumpkin muffins. I'm going to add chocolate chips. I belong to Allison Pantry, so their cookie mixes make great. I might do them as cookies, but I think those might be mini muffins. And then these raspberry muffin mix, I put chocolate chips in that too. Usually white chocolate, but I've done regular. So this is kind of all my little baking, and here's my recipes for the haystacks, the panucci, and the fudge. So I'm going to be doing some baking recipes, but the next one I'll do will be the Butterfinger fudge recipe, my husband's favorite. And it really does taste like a Butterfinger, so. Okay, I'll put you back down, and I'll say bye for now. Bye. 2 cups sugar, a cup of butter, 2 eggs. Those are fake. We'll have 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, which will be added into the 1 cup of sour cream, and then 5 to 6 cups of flour. I do, for cookies, like to get the pre-sifted. If not, I will sift all-purpose flour. So today, I will be making a recipe that's been in my family over 50 years. In fact, this card I probably wrote when I was 14, 15. So I'd always have the recipe started, and I'll measure out the dry ingredients. So I'll be right back.